What's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, a physique update from Carlos Thomas Jr., posted by his coach, Andrew Vu. So Carlos is a guy that we've been really waiting to see make his return to the stage. He was supposed to compete in the Arnold Classic South America, and again, due to a death in the family, he pulled out of that show. And these are the first updates that we've really seen of him. We got like one posing video, like maybe 8 or 10 weeks out from the South America show of Carlos, and then we didn't really see anything of him from that point to now. So we got these physique updates: a front lat spread, front double bicep, rear lat spread, rear double bicep, and a most muscular. And needless to say, I think the thing that always stands out to me the most about Carlos are his quads. He's got gigantic legs, but his upper body too, really round and full. Great arms in a great V-taper. I mean, I would probably say the front double bicep for Carlos is my favorite pose of him, because he's got this crazy, not only V-taper, but it really shows off that X-frame. He's got these really wide flaring lats, huge arms in the front double bicep, really small waist, and then kind of flaring back out to make that X shape with the crazy huge quads. Now the question here, obviously, is when will we see Carlos Thomas Jr. on stage again? Now, obviously, we've got the New York Pro coming up in a little bit over 3 weeks, a little bit under a month. You got Nick Walker in that show, Tony O'Burton, Martin Fitzwater, Quint Beastwood, all these guys. But as good as Carlos looks in this update, I can't say that I think he looks like he's less than a month out from a show here. I mean, while his quads are really big, you don't see deep separation. Really, with Carlos, for me, the time that we have seen him compete, in particular the Texas Pro, and also as an amateur when he earned his pro card, in both cases, I thought the one thing holding him back was conditioning. There's no question that his physique is extremely impressive, extremely muscular, great shape to it. He's got that really round 3D, just kind of genetic look to it. But we haven't seen Carlos just peeled to the bone yet, and that's what I want to see when he comes back. So I don't know if he would be doing the New York Pro based on what his conditioning is looking like in this update, because I want to see him, like I said, I want to see him ripped up. But I think most of you guys would agree with me, looking at this update, that this guy has an extremely bright future, a ton of potential, and we were just talking about in the last video what an exciting time it is in bodybuilding right now. There's so many up-and-coming stars that we've just seen compete. GoodVito, for example, Martin Fitzwater, for example, Quint Beastwood doing New York, and now here we've got Carlos Thomas Jr. The list goes on. I mean, these young guys, the future generation of bodybuilding, these guys that are like in their 20s, they're really impressive. And even the guys like Samson and Andrew Jacked, even though they're in like their late 30s, I think even at that age, they have a ton of potential in bodybuilding to have really crazy placings at the Olympia and win some crazy shows. Which, by the way, Andrew Jacked is another guy we haven't really seen here lately, and I just heard a rumor today that he might be doing the Dubai Pro, so we might get to see him compete in July there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Carlos Thomas Jr. What do you think of his physique here? What show do you think he's going to do? What do you think about his potential as potentially being one of the top guys at some point? And I know that's probably a pretty premature thing to say right now, considering the fact that he hasn't won a pro show yet. Same with GoodVito. But you look at a physique like this, I mean, this guy has all the tools to be successful. But let me know what you think about Carlos in the comments down below. And also, how do you think he would have done had he competed in that Arnold Classic South America that Raphael won, Tonio second, GoodVito third? And by the way, speaking of the New York Pro, next up in the news, another name confirmed for the New York Pro. This is looking to be a pretty competitive New York Pro this year, with a really impressive lineup so far, and we still got weeks to go before the final lineup is really rolled out. Tim Budasheim is now 4 weeks out from the show, known for his conditioning, that grainy look to his physique, German bodybuilder. Just announced yesterday that he's doing New York, and in this picture, when you zoom in, you can see that trademark grainy look to his physique. He's going to be bringing the conditioning for sure, and he's no small guy. He's a big dude that comes in crazy conditioning. What else is there really to say? I mean, it looks like we're in for a real treat with this New York show, and I mean, we still don't even know who else could jump in. Like I said, you could still see, I could be wrong, Carlos Thomas Jr. could jump in that show. He could be, 4 weeks out in those pictures. I know the New York show is a show that he expressed interest in doing before, and he had to pull out of that show, I believe. I think that was last year's New York Pro. But it looks like things are getting interesting here. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. So you've got Nick, you've got Tonio, you've got Beef Stew, you've got Quint Beastwood, you've got Martin Fitzwater, and now you've got Tim Budashim. Now, I keep hearing, I've heard this from multiple people, that Neckzilla apparently said he was going to do this show or told Steve Weinberger that he was going to do the show. I personally don't think we're going to see Neckzilla show up. Based on some of the videos that we've seen of him recently, I really don't think he's 4 weeks out. And he's also said he's doing the Dubai Pro. I think we're more likely to see him there than we are to see him in New York. But based on what we know so far, let me know what you guys think. Top 3 predictions for the New York Pro based on those names that I just listed. Now, next up in the news, one thing that never ceases to amaze me is Derek Lunsford's lats. His back, somehow, in this latest update, seems like it's gotten even bigger, even denser, even wider than the last time we saw him on stage. And obviously, partially due to the fact that he's now pretty deep into his off-season. The Olympia's been over for months now. And we are going to see him back on stage really, really soon, in about 3 weeks, at the Pittsburgh Pro on May 11th. But based on what we're seeing here, it certainly looks like Hadi Chupin isn't the only one that's been making some improvements since the Olympia. Derek, to me, looks significantly bigger here, which is pretty impressive because I think a lot of people would agree with me that Derek already has the best back on the Olympia stage, the best back in the IFBB right now. I don't think there's anybody with a better back double bicep or back lat spread on that Olympia stage. So the fact that Derek looks like he's even improved upon that, something that was already a super strong pose for him, a super strong body part. And I know a lot of people are excited to see the Hadi versus Derek rematch this year because Hadi looks so good and won both Arnold Classics. And this is, I was thinking about it yesterday, this is the tiebreaker. Derek was second to Hadi. Hadi won the Olympia one time. And then Hadi was second to Derek. Derek won the Olympia one time. So this is the tiebreaker Olympia. If you're not counting 212 Olympia titles, that is. And we saw at the Arnold that Hadi has clearly improved. We're going to see more of Derek, like I said, in Pittsburgh. But looking at just this video, it looks like Derek has improved as well. And I mentioned this before, but I really hope that the situation between Israel and Iran gets resolved somehow peacefully. Because I think if that thing still continues to escalate, like I said, I think it really does decrease the chances of seeing Hadi Chupin on the Olympia stage. And his ability to get a visa, I think, will certainly be worsened, if not impossible, by that situation. So I hope that that does not happen. And I hope that we do see Hadi on the Olympia stage because Derek looks like he's bringing it, and we know Hadi's going to bring it. They both look improved. And I think for this tiebreaker, it's going to be a hell of a battle for the title. I think it is going to be between Hadi and Derek this year. Or neither of them. It could be one of these fast-rising new stars in the IFBB. Maybe someone entirely new that we don't even expect could come in and win the Olympia. I don't think very many people expected at Derek's first Olympia that he would be runner-up. We could have someone brand new in that top 2 or first place spot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Derek, Hadi, or somebody new to win the 2024 Mr. Olympia. And if you do think it's someone new, then who and why? Now, we did get another physique update from GoodVito. I know a lot of people wanted to see GoodVito potentially do the New York Pro. It looks like he's definitely back in Brazil, so he's not just staying in the States and continuing his prep for New York. I saw in his story he was posting pictures of like sushi and kind of eating not prep food for a guy that would be 3 weeks out from New York. And I think in this update you can tell that he's obviously been eating. So I don't think he's continuing on his prep for New York. I think he will compete some more in 2024. I still think his goal is to qualify for the Olympia this year, and I think he will. I think he's capable of that. I think he looked fantastic at his pro debut in South America. I think he looked fantastic in Detroit. Very close decision there. I think Vito will definitely win a show. It's just a question of which one. I believe there's like 4 or 5 over the summer, some of these international shows like Spain and Italy and Dubai, some of those shows in Europe, from a span of like June to July. I think there's 4 or 5 shows in there. So maybe he gives himself a little bit of a break and then preps for one of those. I do think we will see him again. And to be honest with you guys, even though Vito didn't win either of the shows that he did, and even though he has some work to do, there's some spots on his physique that he could bring up, I think honestly he's one of my favorite physiques that we've seen in 2024 of all the bodybuilders in the IFBB. Just the freak factor of his quads, the front double bicep pose is just such an incredible pose for him. His V-taper, he's one of my favorite guys right now. I think he's got a fantastic physique and a very bright future. Upper body wise, he wasn't as big and as mass monster freaky as I thought he would be, but I was still very impressed. And again, that front double bicep pose, it's killer. And the final story that I've got for you guys today, another physique update from Hassan Mostafa. This would put him a little bit under 8 weeks out from the Vancouver Pro, which is going to be the show that he's returning to. Crazy, as always with Hassan. Side profile, side poses are crazy for him. He looks really dense and thick from the side. I hope to see a really nice comeback from Hassan. From a muscularity standpoint, he's always reminded me a lot of Nick Walker's physique, but I feel like he never really got the hype or the attention that Nick Walker got, because maybe he's not as, Nick isn't the most aesthetically pleasing guy either, but he's got tremendous midsection control, and I'd say he's probably a little bit freakier than Hassan. But because Hassan doesn't have the prettiest physique, I think his midsection kind of throws it off. I just feel like he's never gotten that same hype. But the guy's stacked. And also it's worth pointing out that Nick has won an Arnold Classic. He's won a New York Pro. He's won these major shows and had a top 3 Olympia placing. And that's another reason why he has more hype than Hassan. But I see a lot of similarities in their physiques. So as a fan, I just would really like to see what it would look like if Hassan really nails it. But that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon, all that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NICKS&P, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.